All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. Um, you know, it's holidays, for everybody out there, Merry Christmas. We're just gonna go ahead and jump into this episode. We had the college football playoff first round this past weekend, which I'll just go ahead and ask. Do you feel like if those games would have been neutral site, you think they would have been different?
Honestly, I don't know. That's hard to say because, man, it was lopsided, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like that obviously that might have made a little bit of a difference just because, people don't have, it's a lot to ask for some teams to play in that kind of environment and weather or however you want to put it. Maybe. I'm not going to make excuses because it's hard to say, but it's like we talked about offset. If you're a good enough football team, that shouldn't matter where you play. But
True.
it's hard. NFL's the same way. It's hard to go into somebody's home and beat them. Why do you think? Why do you think NFL? Why do you think everybody wants home field advantage? Because it means something.
Yeah.
But like we talked about, how is that fair that the rest of the field doesn't get to like Oregon, they don't get to play on their home field. They got to play in Arizona.
Exactly.
So it's neutral. So it's not really lopsided. Who's to say if Tennessee wouldn't have played in Tennessee, it'd have been a different outcome? I don't know.
That's fair to
But
say.
but every every team got blown out. I really wasn't expecting that. But I mean, it's like I told you, and I guess this is my slogan from now on. It's just a different game when it comes to playing some teams. I told you Notre Dame was just going to be too physical for Indiana. SMU, Penn State was just too much. They turned the ball over like 5 times. That ain't going to help you none.
You should just get a shirt made that says "too physical."
Because I mean, it's Clemson and Texas was about the best game, to be
I,
honest.
I agree. It was. I mean, every other game you
Clemson
could.
fought back as they did. They fought back as best as they could. They just couldn't stop the run game. Texas, it was just too much.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Ohio State I thought Tennessee had a good defense. I don't really know what happened or what was going on. Hats off to Ohio State. Not going to sit here and make excuses for Tennessee or, like you said, not going to say Ohio State's a bad team. But, man, the question I had for you is, was that a statement from, you know, was that a statement win for Ryan Day? They got beat by Michigan, but just blew out Tennessee, beat them by, 20
Yeah.
plus.
I mean, for anybody who was saying that, they're going to get rid of him or, he's not the guy for Ohio State if they want to win a championship, that was his statement for that.
So, non-biased, do you think the other teams that were on the outside looking in would have done better? I know it's hard to say. It's a lot of speculations with some teams, but do you think that they would have gave a better effort than 10 points?
Uh, it's hard. Um,
Because Indiana scored 17, which that game was closer than was not close. The score was close. It's like I said. I think that they called and they're like, "Look, Notre Dame's blowing them out. The ratings are tanking right now. Let them score a little bit," but it was too late. And then you got SMU that they were. I mean, it was 28-0. It was 28-0 at halftime. They were getting blown out. And then Ohio State jumped on Tennessee 21-0, scored on their first 3 drives, and then, you know, Tennessee kind of came back before half. They were only down 11, and then all of a sudden they just got the brakes beat off of them.
Tennessee tried. I'll give it to Tennessee. I'll give it to Clemson. They at least, they at least tried. But Indiana and SMU, they just were outmatched. I mean, it was clear. You can
Yeah.
see it. It's clear as day.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even close.
Now, could those other teams have given a better effort? I mean, you could speculate, yes, but at the same time, in Alabama's instance, all three games that they lost were on the road where they struggled. They would have had to go and play like at a Penn State or Notre Dame or wherever,
Yeah.
and maybe they don't. Maybe they play a little better, but you can't really say that they would have dominated the home team. So
Yeah, because
I don't.
Lane Kiffin was on Twitter or whatever he was on. He was just man. I don't like Lane Kiffin, but man,
He's funny.
he lets you know how he really feels.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, for them, just like Bama and South Carolina, I mean, you got to win the games you're supposed to win, and you're in. So that's really on them.
I agree. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can sit here and make speculations all you want. Well, so and so would have done better. Well, they should
But
have won the games that they were supposed to.
I mean, SMU kind of showed you just because you play a conference doesn't mean you're just gonna walk through the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah, I think they got to go back. I think they got to look at some things. It's like you said, just because you won all your games does not make you a top 12 team. And it has showed just in, recent years. I know we go back to this 100 times.
yeah,
TCU is a prime example. Yes, they were a pretty solid team. Did they play anybody? Not really. They were hot. They had a pretty good team till till they played Georgia and got beat 65-3. I'm not saying SMU is not a good football team. They probably are in the ACC. But when you got to go face, you know, Penn State, that is a powerhouse of a conference in the Big Ten, that's a lot to ask. Especially you got to go into their house. It was a whiteout game. They put SMU's band in the top left corner of the end zone up in the nosebleeds. Like they had no chance. Their quarterback just was turning the ball over like crazy. He threw like 2 or 3 pick sixes. It was just a lot. Now, when we get into this, we're in this bracket right here. Now, if Penn State blows out Boise, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And or Texas blows out Arizona State. Because I think other than that, Oregon, Ohio State, obviously that would be a good game. They've already played once.
yeah.
And then Georgia, Notre Dame. Like you said, if Georgia blows out Notre Dame, what's the point of you're going to have to look at teams. I don't care that they're undefeated. I don't care. I'd rather have a 3-loss, Ole Miss or South Carolina or somebody that actually, I'm trying not to be SEC biased here, but, I'd rather have somebody that actually at least plays quality competition that I know what they look like. Now, we can say that again for Tennessee. They got blowed out, but Ohio State's a good football team. So,
Well,
yes, they got beat by Michigan, but Michigan, that's one of the biggest rivalries in college football. It's a tough place to play. It's a tough game for them. Their emotions are high. They just didn't play their best game. Michigan's had their number it's like the Alabama Auburn game. It's like the Iron Bowl. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad somebody is. You got to come in ready to play.
yeah. I mean, look, that's why I said they should just get rid of the group of 5 conferences and everybody just make a complete power 4 super league. I mean, disband the group of 5s, take all those teams, break them up based on geographic location, and make them all go join the power 4 conferences. Everything else is going to sort itself out. The bad teams are still going to be bad, just like how they are now. Maybe some get better, and the good teams are still going to be good, but they're going to play better competition. So it's not going to be cakewalks every single week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the first year. You gotta. It's the first year of this format. You know, they may change the format. I doubt it.
I mean, yeah, but still, they've been
But
doing
see,
sport.
my problem is expanding it. It's just going to get worse because teams are not ranked. Aside from a few teams, if you're not legit in the top 10, there's a reason why. You know, I pretty much seen all I needed to see when SMU played Clemson because Clemson's defense it's pretty solid. It's okay. I'll give them that. You know, they got a pretty good team. They're banged up, but they couldn't stop Clemson, so I knew Penn State was just going to manhandle them. And it's like I told you with Indiana. Notre Dame was just going to be way too much for them. They got overwhelmed early, and Notre Dame just came out and ran it down their throat and pretty much did whatever they wanted to. It's like they said on TV. Whatever their coach's name is, Cinetti, isn't that his name?
Yeah,
You know, it's like he had no idea what to do. He waved the flag at halftime because they were beat. And Dabo kind of did the same thing because they couldn't stop Texas. You could tell when he went into halftime, he knew he was in trouble. But as far as Indiana, there wasn't nothing they could do. They couldn't stop Notre Dame to save their life. And that goes back to what we were saying that if you're not ready to play these teams, you're going to get blown out just because of how good that they really are.
yeah, no, yeah, that's 100% accurate. I
So,
mean,
and it's like you said, we'll get into the predictions here in a second, but is Notre Dame that good and is Indiana just really that bad? Or is it just they didn't play anybody all year and Notre Dame was just too much for them?
yeah, the second round is definitely going to tell us everything that we want to know for sure.
But I'm just going to go ahead and say it first. We can go ahead and get into the predictions too. I don't want to hear one thing about, oh, well, we got beat because we didn't have Carson Beck. No, I don't want to hear that. No, that's not an excuse because this
Yeah, it's
Stockton
off the
came
table.
in, beat Texas, came in the second half, beat Texas because that was still a game.
Yeah,
Beat Texas and has had all this time to prepare.
yep.
And it's unfortunate, and a lot of people are mad and upset, but
I mean,
I
it's
don't know the extent of Carson Beck. I don't know. I don't know if he's been ruled out. I have no idea. I don't know if they've said if they have, and he is
they
out.
won't.
That. See, they did it right. They did it right. They waited till that get dropped, and then they said, "Oh well, he's actually hurt." Because if not, Georgia would not be sitting where they are right
Well, they did
now. No,
win
I don't think so. I don't think so
they
because
won the SEC.
well, I don't think so because their quarterback got hurt in the game. I think that they would have left Texas. They would have put Texas where Georgia was sitting, and Georgia would have played Clemson, I think. Because either way, I think they got to fix that. I don't care if you win the conference. In Georgia and Texas's case, it makes sense. I don't want to be biased. That's kind of hard to do. But I think whoever wins just gets to go.
I mean, Georgia only had one loss on the season, and they won conference. So, I mean,
They had
quarterback or
more than
not,
one loss on the season. Georgia got beat twice. You
who's
mean
the second?
Texas?
Who's the second team Georgia lost to? Oh, Ole
Ole
Miss. I
Miss?
forgot about that. Forgot about that. I mean, but still though, they won the conference with 2 losses. So I mean, even if their quarterback's hurt, you can't like push them
Yeah,
down.
it's tough because, well,
I think their spot is
it's
right.
hard to say that because they kept Florida State out of the
Different situation.
If Notre Dame blows out Georgia, it's not going to be.
I
It's
mean,
going
it
to
was
be, well, they shouldn't have put him in there because
their
Carson Beck
quarterback
was
was hurt.
hurt. Yep.
I mean, I guess, but I don't think that'll be the case though, because Gunnar Stockton showed you that he can actually play. He showed you enough and a half to know that he can play. The different situation. The reason I say it's a different situation is because Florida State's quarterback had like what 2 games,
Also,
two.
they were on. Also, Florida State was on about their third, fourth string because wasn't he hurt and wasn't it all
Yeah,
over the
their
place?
their backup quarterback was. They were down on like their third string quarterback who really hadn't even played at all. So, I mean, like I said, different situation. With this situation, your backup, he's played, he's capable. You can see that he's capable. He beat a top 5 team. So I don't
We're
think the
gonna
committee
find
was
out.
going. Yeah, we're gonna see. Honestly, like I told you, and I'm gonna just go ahead and give you my prediction now with Georgia and Notre Dame. I think I'm not gonna say Georgia's gonna run away with it because, like you said, Notre Dame has a good team. I'm still not sold on them having a good team, but I don't know. I'm just it's not there for me. They got to show me. If they beat Georgia, like I said, I'll give them their flowers. They deserve it. If they get blown out or if the game isn't close, what I said was right.
Okay. I'm gonna roll Notre Dame.
Are you just saying
I'm a,
that because Carson Beck is hurt?
to an extent, kind of. But like I said, Notre Dame has a very good run game,
Okay.
and the two teams that beat Georgia run the ball on them: Alabama and Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's true.
So if Notre Dame can run the ball, I think they can beat them. But it's Notre Dame has to come out and punch Georgia in the mouth because they got a backup quarterback for one. So he's going to have to play a full 4 quarters against Notre Dame. So unless he struggles and Carson Beck is not as hurt as they say or whatever, but I'm going to roll Notre Dame.
I just I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if this is the best team Notre Dame has seen all season, like out of everybody they've played, this is hands down the best team they have played.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah,
we're
for
gonna
sure.
see. We're gonna see what they look like. We're gonna see what they look like, and I'll just leave it at that.
Excuse me. So what about Penn State Boise? Penn State's favored by 13.
That's fair though. I mean, boys is one of those teams where it's of course
You don't know.
they're gonna get disrespected because they play in a weaker conference. They haven't played
Yeah.
anybody all season, basically, according to you know different perspectives.
Yeah.
But they still have the best running back in the country, and if Penn State cannot contain him, they're not going to be Boise State.
Yeah. Or I just don't know how Boise State's defense is going to hang in there with Penn State. They're going to have to. That game might for real be a shootout. It really might be. That might be
It's
It's either going to be that or Penn State's going to blow them out.
Yeah, it'll probably be like somewhat like Oregon. If they do end up beating them, it'll be close. Boise State will probably keep it close.
It's like you said. They have to. The game plan for Boise simple. They're going to come out and try to run it down Penn State's throat.
Yeah.
And Penn State, you got to stop Ashton Genty. If they can take now, it's like you said. If they cannot do that, it's going to be a long day for Penn State. But what can Boise do aside from that? Because I think Penn State's defense is going to stop the run.
Well,
At least a few times.
we're not gonna sleep on their quarterback though. Their quarterback isn't bad. I mean, he's been asked to pass the ball in a lot of their games, and they have some playmakers. We're not gonna act like they can't pass the ball at all. I think they'll be able to make some plays, but they actually have to be able to like I
The
think they're
thing
going to
with
have
Boise
to.
is they cannot let Penn State jump on them. If they do that, they're in trouble. They'll get blown out.
Yeah, it'll be just like the SMU game.
Yeah, they cannot let Penn State jump on, which it's a neutral site. So they're playing in Arizona. So, right? Yeah, they're playing in the Fiesta Bowl. That's in Arizona. So that's in the Cardinals in Arizona. That's where the Cardinals play. So they're playing in a dome. In a dome. So that the weather, nothing should be a factor.
That's true.
Um, I'm gonna go Boise. I'm gonna go upset. I think I got to. I think Genty's gonna at least attempt to prove a point that he is the best player. And now if
Mm.
he comes out and runs for 200 yards on Penn State and they win, yeah, because Penn State's got just as good as a defense as any of these as any team that's left. To be honest,
Honestly, I'm going to roll Penn State, but only because
you're gonna roll
I'm
who?
just Penn State.
Okay.
But I'm only saying that because I think their quarterback,
Are you
he's
gonna say what I think you're gonna say?
he's probably going to make a mistake or two. I think
Okay.
that's going to be the biggest thing because
Thought you were
you
gonna
got to
say.
realize
Thought you
when
were
they
gonna
take
say it.
no. If and when they take Ashton Genty out of the game, the entire game is going to fall on the quarterback. Now, a lot of times when that happens, you press a little bit. You try to take the big plays when they're not there. And I think he's going to make a mistake. It's going to cost him the game. So I'm going to go Penn State.
Thought you were gonna say it. Thought you were gonna say it, but you didn't.
I don't think they're going to cover, though. I don't think they'll beat them by 14.
So I'm sure that'll change. I'm gonna roll Boise. Like I said, I think Ashton Genty's gonna come to prove a point that he is the best player in college football. Like you said, I think it'll be close. Hopefully, it will be anyway. So we got Texas and Arizona State. Texas is also favored by 14.
Okay. All right.
Do you
I'm
want
a
me to say it or?
I'm gonna go ahead and say personally, I'm gonna roll with the upset, but that's only because I think Arizona State has a very balanced football team. Obviously, they're gonna look to stop Scatterboo, but I think they'll be able to, but I think their quarterback is actually really good. I've been watching that full game in their conference championship. He's really nice. So I think that the bigger thing is, can they take both of them out of the game?
Yeah. Um, I'll go ahead and say it. Texas is going to be too physical for
There it is. I was
Arizona
waiting on
State.
it. I was waiting on it.
I'm rolling. I'm rolling Texas. I think Texas is just going to be too much. I think that their defense is going to, like you said with Boise, if or when they shut down uh Scatterboo, what are they going to? I'm not going to lie to you. SMU, like you said, they have an 1,100-yard receiver. They have a running back with over 1,500 yards. So it's going to be tough. I don't think that they're just going to come in there and lay down.
Of course
And
not.
it's they're playing in the Peach Bowl, which is in Atlanta, right?
Uh,
Yeah. That's where the Peach Bowl is. Yeah, Atlanta. Um, so personally, I think Texas is just going to be a little bit too much. I mean, I did see where Texas is. I did see where Texas does have some injuries.
yeah,
So, but I just don't know if Arizona State's defense is going to be able to hang in there with that. I think Texas is just going to pound it on them.
that's fair.
They've got to. they've got to slow down. Like I said, they just can't let Texas come in there and just punch them in the mouth because you know Texas is going to be a physical team. They're going to line up and they're going to run it down their throat. Texas has got some big boys, and I'm not going
True.
to take anything away from Arizona State, but I just think Texas is going to be a little. I just think Texas is going to be a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, for what Clemson showed, if you really can't stop the run, you're not going to be able to beat Texas. I mean,
Oh yeah, they got
any
two
football team in
running
general,
backs. Yeah, they
if
got two
you
good running backs that that's SEC football. They're going to come out and they're going to try and run it down your throat. If Texas can run the ball, Arizona State stands no chance. They're going to get wore down. But if Scatterboo, if vice versa, if Arizona
yeah,
State can run the ball, you know, Texas has been beat twice, but that's the Georgia twice.
yeah,
So
that was by defense though. So realistically, Arizona State is really going to have to keep Texas off the board. Either that, or you're going to have to match them score for score if you want to beat them.
yeah, yeah, it's like I said. Texas comes out running the ball, they're in trouble. They've got, or like you said, they're just going to score with them. But hey,
But
Arizona State might blow Texas out. I doubt it.
no, I highly doubt that. But as far as
Um,
predictions go, I think I'm probably going. I think I'm gonna roll upset here. I'm gonna probably say Arizona State. I'm gonna go Arizona State.
yeah, like I said, I'm rolling Texas. It's the physical part. I just don't know if Arizona State is going to be able to hang in there with 4 quarters with getting getting pounded on. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And then we got the rematch of Oregon and Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 3.
Honestly, I think Oregon beats them again. Man, I think it might be by more than what a lot of people are thinking right now. No, I'm wrong. I'm lying. First game was very back and forth. I think the second game is gonna be very back and forth. It'll probably be a lot of scoring. Two high-powered offenses, two very good defenses that are gonna be tested. I think whoever makes the first mistake loses, just like the first time. It just means more this time, though.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna roll Oregon. Um, I think Ryan Day chokes.
This is probably going to be the only game this week where I think we actually agree because
I think I'm gonna roll Oregon.
I think Oregon's probably going to walk away with this one. Maybe by a walk-off field goal,
The
maybe
only
by
thing I will say is Ohio State is coming off of a huge win versus Tennessee, so they got
yeah.
that going for them. They're going in with momentum, but it's like you said, whoever makes this, that'll be the best game for sure, hands down. I think I'm gonna roll Oregon. Um, they beat them once. It's gonna be hard to beat them again. Ohio
Yeah.
State is playing a lot better, but I think I'm just gonna have to roll Oregon. I think they're just Dylan Gabriel really hasn't made. I'm not even gonna jinx them, but yeah, I think Oregon. I think Oregon will win by. I'm gonna say 10. I think they're gonna win by 10 points.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe 7-3, something like that.
So I think they'll score late, and it'll put them up, put the nail in the coffin kind of thing. And then we already decided Notre Dame and Georgia, so I'm gonna roll Notre Dame. You're gonna roll Georgia. So, but that's pretty much everything. I mean, aside from the bowl games, they don't really mean anything.
Yeah. I mean, obviously for I guess for this week, we just got one episode for y'all since well no, we still got two. It'll just get delayed since Christmas is Wednesday. So that pretty much does it for this episode. But the only thing I'll say to end this episode is we're going to have a very interesting conversation if teams like Arizona State, Boise, and Notre Dame all get blowed out when they play their games.
Yeah,
Very interesting conversation.
yeah. I mean, and who knows? They may blow out their opponents. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, if like I said, if these teams come out and assert their dominance and make their statements, then it's a completely different conversation. Opposite to what we said. I mean, maybe the committee did get it right. Who knows? But we're going to find out. That's for sure. But before we get out of here, again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Um, it's my favorite time of year. I'll just put that out there. You got any Christmas messages to the people?
Yeah, same. I mean, yeah. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody has safe travels. There's a lot of traveling. I like spending time with my family. Um, yeah, pretty. I like giving people gifts. I like to see the joy and just the happiness. They say and it's not all about the gifts and stuff. But I like to see I like to see people being with family and stuff like that and the memories that you make.
For
But
sure.
yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us on this episode, and we will catch y'all in the next one.